Elite Facts presents
10 Crazy Afterlife Experiments.
10.
Sir William Crooks Experiments. Sir William Crooks was an English chemist and physicist who attended the Royal College of Chemistry in London. One of Crookes' accomplishments was the Crookes tube, which would lead to the discovery of cathode rays, X-rays, and the electron. Crooks had developed an interest in spiritualism, possibly by the untimely death of his younger brother in 1867 at the age of 21. In 1870, Crooks decided that science had a duty to experiment with the phenomena associated with spiritualism.
9.
Dead weight experiment. This is not the official name of this experiment, but we thought it had a nice ring to it. In 1907, Dr. Duncan McDougall of Haverhill, Massachusetts, placed 6 terminal patients on a specially designed bed built on a scale and weighed them as they took their last breath. Based on results from the experiment, the patients lost approximately 3/4 ounces, which equals 21.3 grams. McDougall also measured 15 dogs in similar circumstances and reported the results as negative, with no perceived change in weight. He took these results as confirmation that the human soul has weight and that dogs do not have souls.
8.
The Skull Experiment. In 1993, 4 psychic researchers and observers embarked on a series of experiments in the Norfolk village of Skull. For 5 years, more than 500 experiments were carried out. During some of the experiments, objects materialized, lights danced, and solid beings appeared. Luminous spheres flew around the room in an apparent intelligent manner. The image shown here was received on 35mm films, still in the light-proof containers, with no cameras used. Messages were also transmitted onto audio tape. The experiments were repeated in the United States, Ireland, and Spain. In the United States, scientists from NASA, the Institute of Noetic Sciences, and the University of Stanford also took part.
7.
The Reincarnation Experiments. Australian psychologist Peter Ramster made a documentary in 1983 called The Reincarnation Experiments. During the experiments, he found very convincing evidence of past lives. One of the individuals featured in the film remembered a life during the French Revolution. When under a trance, she spoke in French without any trace of an accent, understood and answered questions put to her in French, and knew the names of streets which had changed and were only discoverable on old maps.
6.
The Philip Experiment. The Philip Experiment was conducted in the early 1970s by the Toronto Society of Psychical Research. The purpose of the experiment was to see if a fictitious historical character could manifest itself through the group's efforts of concentration. They named the ghost Philip and gave the ghost a personality and a complete background, even drawing a portrait to make him seem more real. The 8 members in the group also memorized the fictional biography and studied the period in which Philip was supposed to have lived. The seances proved nothing for many months until 1973, when Philip began to communicate. He first came through as a solid rap on the table. In the months that followed, the group discovered that when they asked questions, and using 1 knock as yes and 2 knocks as no, they could actually have an intelligent conversation with their ghost.
5.
Ghost Hunters. Ghost Hunters is a reality television series that debuted in 2004. A team of investigators travel to locations that are reported to be haunted. To locate ghosts, the team has experimented with Geiger counters, EMF, that's electromagnetic field scanners, infrared and night vision cameras, handheld digital video cameras, digital audio recorders, and laptop computers. The ghost hunters claim to have several good recordings of strange mists, odd lights, moving objects, and shadowy figures that manifest before the camera and disappear quickly.
4.
Harry Houdini's Secret Code Experiment. Houdini's training in magic allowed him to expose many mediums that had successfully fooled many scientists and academics as frauds. Fearing that spiritualists would exploit his legacy by pretending to contact him after his death, Houdini left his wife a secret code. 10 words were chosen at random from a letter written by Conan Doyle that he would use to contact her from the afterlife. After Houdini's death on October 31st, 1926, a friend of Doyle, Reverend Arthur Ford, claimed to have contacted both Houdini and his deceased mother at a seance through his spirit guide.
3.
The God Helmet Experiment. The God helmet refers to a controversial experiment in neurotheology, that's the study of correlations of neural phenomena, by Michael Persinger. When a modified snowmobile helmet is placed on the subject's head, magnetic fields start stimulating the brain. Persinger claims that the near-death experiences, such as bright lights, the presence of God, and seeing dead relatives, etc., are reproduced. Richard Dawkins, who is known for his atheistic views and criticism of religion, volunteered to test Persinger's device. Afterward, he admitted on BBC that he was very disappointed that he did not experience communion with the universe or some other spiritual sensation.
2.
EVP Experiments. EVP, that's electronic voice phenomena, is a mysterious event in which human-sounding voices from an unknown source are heard on recording tape, in radio station noise, and other electronic media. Most often, EVPs have been captured on audio tape. The mysterious voices are not heard at the time of recording. It is only when the tape is played back that the voices are heard. Some skeptics say interpreting random sounds into voices in their own language would sound like random noise to a foreign speaker.
1.
The Afterlife Experiments. Gary Schwartz, a professor of psychology at the University of Arizona, wrote a book in 2002 called The Afterlife Experiments. In the experiments, he used mediums and sitters, that's someone who had very close relationships with the people who are now dead, to investigate whether or not there is life after death. The mediums consistently came up with specific facts and names about the sitter's departed friends and relatives that the skeptics have been unable to explain away as fraud, cold reading, or lucky guesses. For the first sitter, the results showed that the mediums had ranged from being 77% to 95% accurate. The average hit rate was 83%.
Don't forget to like us and subscribe for more Elite Facts.